What's going on, guys? I'm Maze, and recently a brand new episode for the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime aired on TV. Episode 114, Beauty and Meowth, which it was a splendid time watching the episode. So because of that, I've decided for today's video that I will review this latest episode. Hopefully get to yourself to check out the episode too, if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments down below for today's question of the day though, what you thought of this episode. I'd love to hear. With that intro for this video now said though, let's jump right into this review. So the episode begins off with an Ultra Beast later named Pheromosa emerging from an Ultra Wormhole at night, getting attracted to sea crystals in Alola, then running off to steal these sea crystals for itself, starting with the Kahuna Hala, which Hala is then forced to defend himself from this strange creature using his Hariyama. While meanwhile, Lusamine alerts the parents of each Ultra Guardian to wake up and get onto their right Pokemon who flew to them outside, to help Hala against this newly discovered Ultra Beast. But once they arrive, Pheromosa had already defeated Hariyama in an adequate way, stolen Hala's Z Crystal, and had run off, leaving our Ultra Guardians waking up for no reason. But regardless of the lack of sleep for our characters, I quite fancied this opening, as it introduced Pheromosa in an excellent way. It's showing that it's powerful with its attack and speed and shouldn't be treated like a joke. It literally defeated a Kahuna's Pokemon. That's impressive. Though, the reason why I'm saying that is because some Ultra Beasts haven't really been that impressive despite being strong in the games, which I'll get to later. But the next day at the Pokemon School, our gang show how tired they are from last night's encounter with Pheromosa. Ourselves even getting a cute yawn from Lilie. Though once the Ultra Guardian school bell wakes them up, they go underground to receive a mission from Lusamine, which again is to capture Pheromosa, who they've managed to pinpoint. Revealing that Pheromosa has stolen many more Z Crystals, getting cameos from all sorts of characters we've seen before, which was a neat touch. And this plot makes so much sense, due to Pheromosa looking like a Pokemon that would like jewelry, which Z Crystals could be used as jewelry. Meanwhile, while the Ultra Guardians are dispatching, Pheromosa detects Z Crystals at Team Rocket's base, so it decides to go there, which it then literally kicks James and Jesse in the face to steal their Z Crystals, which I had to replay that scene about 5 times as it was that unexpectedly funny to me. Like seriously, oh my god. But in the distance, our Meowth does nothing about this, and instead falls in love with Pheromosa and starts chasing after this encounter to do anything for it. This making one of those cliche love stories, so I don't have much I could say for it. But the scene in which Meowth becomes tall, that's some nightmare fuel though. Doing this as well though, the Ultra Guardians witness Pheromosa from the sky and land to engage in a battle against it. However, Pheromosa with the help of Meowth managed to steal Ash's Electrinium Z, which made it harder for him to battle against this Ultra Beast, especially with its speed. Which, talking about speed, it managed to retreat alongside Meowth, which the Ultra Guardians then go back to their base to pick up a new invention from Faber, which will stick Pheromosa to the ground once it walks on it, enabling our Ultra Guardians to capture this Pokemon. Which, despite being a small concept of the episode, I fancied this as well. And that's because the Ultra Guardians remind me of spy shows, which of course spies use gadgets and inventions, which this is close enough to one. Side note though, why does the anime keep doing Faber dirty? He got stuck in his own invention doing a demonstration and had to get out of his clothes. Like bro, what? Why? Once our Ultra Guardians pinpoint Pheromosa's location once again though, they set up the invention with Z Crystals as bait. But Meowth notices the invention and accidentally allows himself to be stepped on by Pheromosa so he could steal these Z Crystals, forcing our gang to then engage in a battle with it, along with Team Rocket who was looking by to try and snap Meowth out of his senses that it was being used, which it got revealed to it by this point by Pheromosa itself. However, nobody's attacks worked on this Pokemon, despite every single Pokemon putting in effort, including Wobbuffet, which this just made me fanboy, as it just shows us how dangerously strong this Pokemon is. But Bewear, who was pissed off that it assaulted our Team Rocket members, comes running in to save the day, battling against Pheromosa in an incredibly impressive scene. Like bro, this fast-paced action between the two was eye candy. My VGC eyes kicked in as well, as the reason why Bewear won is because it used 2 superpowers, whilst Pheromosa used Launch, I think, and High Jump Kick, which had no effect on our Pokemon, it even taking damage from high jump kicks. That's amazing. What I love about this scene as well is just the pure love Bewear demonstrates that it has for Team Rocket. I'm honestly curious to see what on earth will happen to Bewear and Team Rocket Space towards the end of the series. But anyway, after Bewear wins this breathtaking duel, Ash captures Pheromosa and then releases it back to its home towards the end of the episode, whilst Bewear takes Team Rocket to their home. This ending the episode off. So, with that story now said, let's now move on to my overall thoughts regarding this episode. Starting with the story, it was everything I wanted to see again for an Ultra Guardian episode. And by that, I mean an Ultra Beast who actually seems like a threat. Guzma being the only Ultra Beast in some fashion before this episode, to show that Ultra Beasts are powerful creatures who shouldn't be taken as jokes, unlike the previous Ultra Beasts we have encountered. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you've been a regular viewer for at least 1 year now, you will know that I particularly enjoyed the other Ultra Beast episodes, but ever since the Ultra Guardian concept was revealed to us about a year ago, I was expecting each episode to include intense action in both battles and capture sequences. Plans, as Ultra Beasts are some of the most powerful Pokemon ever who come from outer space, other worlds. Yet, as we've clearly seen, that didn't really happen. Ourselves getting more laid back or comedic episodes, which I feel like was kinda disappointing for the overall concept. But I guess I can also give props to the writers for trying to make each episode feel different than the other, so the concept doesn't get stale. But I still feel like I would have preferred the action-orientated episodes, especially with the fact that Sun and Moon takes a step back from action in the first place anyway, to tell more of a story with these slice of life features. Which again, you should know I love that by now, but this could have been a perfect substitute at time to time, to also please those fans who still watch Pokemon looking for cool action. I mean, if you see my reviews on episode 100 and 101, you will know how much I praise those episodes for giving me action I wanted to witness ages ago as well, and Ultra Beast actually being treated like a threat. Though, the reason why I didn't bring this episode up earlier is because it wasn't an Ultra Guardian episode. Ash was the only character present with Dia. So, this episode in reality is the second Ultra Guardian episode to include an Ultra Beast who's seen to be dangerous in action and test our gang to their limits, whereas it's the third or fourth Ultra Beast episode overall to do so. So, yeah, that statement alone should just show you already how much I like the episode, and even how Pheromosa was treated. But of course, this is a review, so let's go into more detail. Starting with Pheromosa, much like I said in the storytelling section, its introduction alone in this episode just already shows how it shouldn't be treated like a joke, as it single-handedly tested a Kahuna's Pokemon and forced the Ultra Guardians to dispatch at night, so it doesn't cause any more trouble. Yet, our Ultra Guardians even failed, as the Pokemon had rapid speed. And then later on into the episode, it stole more Z Crystals, and our gang, and even Team Rocket, could not do a single thing to this Pokemon. This just overall showing how strong it can be with its attacks, and how it uses its unstoppable speed as an advantage, while also showing selfish and antagonistic traits by controlling Nyarth in this episode, once seeing the weakness in the Pokemon, that being his love for the Pokemon. This overall making a quite lovely antagonist. You gotta love how this Pokemon even stuck its tongue out towards the end of the episode as well, to show its selfish nature one last time. The Ultra Guardians literally opened up an Ultra Wormhole so it could return home, yet it didn't even thank them for them being considerate towards it. I love that. No, I just love this character overall. The whole plot of it wanting to steal Z Crystals as well was quite decent, going hand in hand with his character, like I mentioned earlier. Though, the best highlight of this overall plot at hand has to be that battle between Bewear and Pheromosa. It was an excellent finale for this Pokemon to get a taste of its own medicine and finally be put to an end for all its petty acts. Not only that though, but it also of course provided that action I wanted Ultra Guardian episodes to have. Though, of course, there was action before this scene as well, which satisfied me dearly as well. And remember, not all action mean battles, though nothing can really top this scene. The fanboy earlier spoke for itself really. But that pretty much now concludes everything I admired about this episode's plot and even character of the day. However, we still need to address more of my thoughts on Nyarth's love for Pheromosa. So let's just jump into that. It was as cliche as can be, but that's to be expected when we have received an episode in almost every series, if not every series, of Nyarth falling in love with a Pokemon, only to get rejected at the last minute. So I didn't really feel much for most of the scenes we got to witness, apart from maybe this comedic moment. Though I'm sure somebody new to the anime might find enjoyment with this plot. But as for somebody who's an older viewer, maybe not. I'm not gonna lie, I also tried to write more in my script for this section of the love story, but I was struggling. There was literally nothing else I could possibly say, apart from repeating the fact that it wasn't nothing different than what we've seen before. So let's just now move on to the animation and music aspects. Firstly for the animation, it looked as decent as ever. However, as for the highlights, the battle between Pheromosa and Bewear was beautifully animated. I particularly liked the energy each Pokemon radiated the most. And even Pheromosa's speed throughout the entire episode, which was a major part of the episode, was very fluid. I loved that. As for the music aspects, again it was decent as ever, but I don't really have any highlights I can mention this time around. Though each tune seemed to fit at least. This now concluding this review. So altogether, as you should hopefully see, I found this episode to be quite spectacular. This being my favourite Ultra Guardian episode so far. Though when we're speaking about Ultra Beast episodes in general, Guzma's episodes will always stand on top. However, if you did watch this episode, then once again do let me know in the comments down below what you personally thought of this episode though. I'd love to hear, as we all do have different perspectives. This now finishing off today's video. So if you enjoyed, then please be sure to consider leaving a like, a share, and if you're new here, a subscribe along with hitting that bell icon to stay in loop with all things Pokemon anime related. If you want to support this channel any further way, I also have a Patreon. Thank you for watching everybody, this is HackInsomniac, signing out.